Thinking about settling your injury claim on your own, it sounds simple. You're not badly hurt. The other driver even admitted fault. You just want your bills paid. Well, I've helped a lot of people go this route. And I've also seen a lot of cases go sideways when people try to do this. So in this video, I'll break down when you can handle a case yourself or when doing it on your own might cost you way more than you think. You never need a lawyer. That's not required. There's a certain line in the sand where not getting a lawyer could really cost you a lot of money. Thinking about a car accident where you get rear-ended and you go to the emergency room and 2 or 3 months go by after the emergency room and you have no residual pain, no permanent injuries. Maybe you missed 2 days of work and you have just your emergency room bills. This is a prime kind of case that you can handle on your own. As those medical bills or the injuries from the crash begin to get worse, you start to approach that line in the sand of like, it starts to be time that it probably is a good idea to get a lawyer. The place where I kind of think about that is right when you have some kind of a permanent injury. The first thing to think about is, do you have a permanent injury? And if you have a permanent injury, I think you need to talk to a lawyer. You need to figure out what that injury is worth, and you need to be exploring exactly what kind of insurance coverage is available from the at-fault driver and your own insurance policies as well. What I mean by permanent injury is that you have something, in its most basic level, you have pain that won't go away, right? You are hurt and you've gone to the doctor, maybe even gone to physical therapy, and the pain just won't go away. You might have a diagnosis of a herniated disc or a torn labrum or something that's going on in your body, or you might just have residual pain that just, no matter what you've done so far, won't go away. I think that's one of those situations where it starts to be, you can't do this on your own. Or, you still can, but you shouldn't. My advice would be you should not do a case on your own where there is a permanent injury. This also goes for things like scarring. You have some scarring related to the crash. Let's say your airbag exploded and you have a scar on your arm or you have a scar on your face. This is one of those situations where it's probably not a good idea to handle it on your own. You just don't have the knowledge that is required to evaluate those kind of damages, as opposed to the ones where you don't have any permanent damage or permanent injury and you're just talking about medical bills and lost wages. Another spot where you probably don't want to handle this on your own is if you have extremely high medical bills. This might be medical bills that are covered by your health insurance company or are not covered by your health insurance company. They could be, you could have $50,000 from the day of treatment and you don't know how you're going to pay for it, or you could have $50,000 from the day of treatment that your health insurance company has paid and they're going to come knocking on your door for whatever money they've paid out once you've gotten this settlement from Nationwide or Allstate. And so if you have really high medical bills, that's another time when you probably want to talk to a lawyer. Another example is if there's alcohol involved. If the at-fault driver, if you watch them do a field sobriety test, or there's some other crazy aggravating factor, the driver was going 100 miles an hour, or they fled the scene, or you have a hit and run and you don't know who the other driver was. Those are times when that line in the sand is, you don't want to try to do that on your own because you just don't know what those cases are worth or how to even value those situations. And the last one is you should call a lawyer if the insurance company refuses to pay. And that's pretty obvious, but you have two choices in that situation. Choice A, go with zero, or call a lawyer and see what you can get, right? And so if they refuse to pay you, give us a call. So remember, you actually never have to hire a lawyer. But in these 4 situations, I think it's best if you at least consult one to figure out what's going on, right? Number 1 is if you have permanent injuries or scarring. The second thing is if you have really high medical bills. The third is if you have alcohol involved or some other crazy factor. And the fourth one is if the insurance company just doesn't want to pay you. So if you have one of these 4 things pop up and you're in South Carolina, feel free to give my office a call. So we'd be happy to look at your case and see if we can help.